Hi, this is my 5-year review of my Charger HELLCAT. So it's a 2019. I got it in August of 2019. And so I've had it, I bought it new with 200 miles on it. And so now it's got about 35,000 miles. The first couple of years we're traveling, I live in Indiana, so we traveled to like Wyoming, Tennessee a few times, things like that. Got a lot of miles on it in the first couple of years. And here lately it hasn't gotten quite as much because it's more of a weekend driver, car shows, grocery getting, that kind of thing, just having fun. But in that time, I have come to like things about the car that I knew I would like, why I bought it, and there are things that I didn't like about it going along after I purchased it. So I'm going to share that with you all. Some of this would apply to Challengers and other Hellcats as well. But I think I may have to break this up into 2 videos. So if you like this video, watch the second one having to do with things I don't like about it. I'm going to start with the things that I do and that I've learned, and then the things that I don't in a second video, because I think it'd just be too long at that point. So the first thing that I like about this vehicle is the interior. So although it has some plastic that is kind of irritating, it is very comfortable, especially on long trips. The seats are really nice, big. They bolster you well. You have the steering wheel. It's pretty built for comfort, but I really like the interior overall. It is comfortable. So if you're looking at getting a Hellcat for the long term and you're considering comfort, consider getting a Charger. You know, people like to talk about them being boats and things. Of course, yeah, it may be considered a boat, but it handles pretty well considering. So if you're going to have the car for any length of time, you're going to want to be comfortable in your car. And I think a lot of sports cars, you know, may not really fit that bill. So you have the Charger. It's like a family sedan, but also drives better in most cases than a sports car. So that's the first thing I like. Looking and thinking about this along the way, I think the second thing I came up with was, you can, because I'm always planning long term. So if you're going to keep your vehicle, you're thinking like, okay, is this thing going to get up to 100,000 miles? So you want to kind of look at other people and maybe what their cars have gotten along the way. But so 35,000 miles isn't a lot, but there's Hellcats out there. I've seen one that's got 196,000 miles on it. So you're not going to have to worry about the reliability on these. So that's obviously a positive. The next thing is, and this would be like number 3, the gas mileage. A lot of people talk about how bad the gas mileage is. I guess if you keep your foot down all the time, that's definitely an issue. But most of the time around town, you can get 11, 12 miles a gallon. But when you're on the highway, you can get, I had, coming back from Wyoming, coming through Nebraska, we had a tailwind and then averaging 100 at about 2,000 RPMs. I was getting 26 miles a gallon. And that's freaking awesome, coming from that kind of power. So I think that's a big deal. So really, gas mileage, in my opinion, isn't nearly as bad as what other people say. So I kind of put that on my positive list, because to me, I was kind of scared that it was going to be like, 18 miles a gallon on the highway. Now our Dodge Durango Hellcat gets about 17 or 18 on the highway at best when you're traveling. But this is a lot better as far as the Chargers. I'm sure the Challengers are in that boat too, because they weigh, I think there's like 100-pound difference between the two. Not like old school vehicles with 700 horsepower, 800 horsepower or whatever. They're getting like what, 6 miles a gallon. So that's a positive in my book. So the next thing is the large capacity. So if you are traveling, for example, or you're going to have a car for a good amount of time after 5 years, do you know how many times that I've actually used all the space in the trunk? And when we went out west, and other trips, I had all 5 of us in this car. And of course, I was more comfortable in the front because I had 3 grown boys in the back. But riding in a Hellcat, right, they can't complain. So there's that. I've also noticed that it doesn't matter like who you come up to. A lot of people have heard about the Hellcat or know what it is by now, right? So this is, which number is this on the list? I don't know, 5 or 6, but it makes people happy. A lot of people just love looking at it. It just makes people smile. And that makes me smile. It makes me happy to know that, hey, you know, someone else just likes it just by looking at it. So that's a positive. Whether you're not even at a car show or just, you know, coming out of a store, you know, people are standing around looking at it and they're happy to talk about it. That's definitely a positive. Also, I think that the car itself, after 5 years, you know, and this body style has been out for since 2015. So you're looking at 10 years now that this has been around, and it has the best body lines, I think, of any car. And it's really stood the test of time. So having this after 5 years, I love looking at it. I love the way the car is designed and the way that the body lines just kind of flow down the side, over the top, from the back. Pretty much any picture, anywhere you stand on this car is can get a beautiful shot. So I really do like that about the car. Also, in addition to that, since I have 35,000 miles on this, I have had absolutely no problems mechanically with the car. If anything happened to it, it's probably because it was something aftermarket that I put on. But other than that, you know, I try to buy the best aftermarket quality type parts to forego that. But for the most part, especially with the engine, you know, by 2019, all the problems with the supercharger bearings and stuff were already fixed. So you don't have any of that. I don't have any problems with codes, not a code, not a problem with overheating or anything like that ever. So that's definitely a positive thing. Also, I wanted to say it's also a positive that culturally, you know, the Hellcat name is done so well and it stood up the past 10 years. That's definitely a positive thing. You know, everybody pretty much knows just by the Hellcat logo itself on the side that it's built for fun. It's built to kind of talk about, and culturally, like I say, it's got its own what's the word I'm looking for? Like a cult culture. In addition to that, and probably one of my favorite things is it's so easy to upgrade. So you're looking at so body modifications, the companies out there that develop the carbon fiber aspects to it, the lighting aspects to it. There's so many different things you can do creatively, different rims to make everything your own is just amazing on here. And to work on the engine, you know, you can build these up to 1,200 horsepower relatively inexpensively compared to, and easily, which, you know, and that's up to you as far as like kind of how heavy you want and how hard you want to push your engine, how much boost you want to have. You know, I have kept mine relatively stock. I just have a pulley and that's it. I don't want to go too crazy because I'd like to get up to 100,000 miles if I need to. I don't really want to hurt anything internal in the engine. I may in the future go Hellion twin turbo compound boost just because it's a lot easier on the engine. So that may be here in the future, but we will see. And I think that may be kind of close to what's on the list here, but I want to put in there as well here at the end that this has been, and any car can kind of go in this category, but it's been a stress reliever for me. I come out here, I work on the car. Sometimes I can spend hopefully hours if my family can allow it. If I can be out here for all winter, I would. but it's been a big stress reliever and just a way to kind of get out and kind of get my alone time. Yeah, I think that's about all that I had here on my list. But the main things are just it makes people happy, and it makes me happy all around. The next video is going to be the things that I don't really like about it. So check that out. Thanks.